Welcome back to the Explainer. If you're out there putting in the miles on the railroad, or maybe you've already hung up the lantern and are enjoying retirement, you know the deal. The financial mechanics of the Railroad Retirement Board can sometimes feel like trying to decipher a completely different language. Every single year brings a new wave of numbers, adjustments, and rules that directly impact your wallet. So today, our goal is to demystify the 2026 Railroad Retirement Board updates. We're going to break down the exact numbers you need to know, straight from the source, so you can confidently plan your year. All right, let's look at the roadmap. We're going to hit the 2026 COLA boost, payroll taxes, those pesky Medicare Part B updates, the rules if you're working in retirement, and finally, how to lock down your service records. Section 1. The 2026 COLA boost, otherwise known as your annual raise. So the magic number for this year? It's 2.8%. Now, as you guys know, the RRB adjusts your annuities based on the Consumer Price Index, just to make sure inflation doesn't eat your lunch. And since your Tier 1 is built to roughly mirror Social Security, this 2.8% bump matches the full Social Security COLA, right on the nose. You're going to see that extra cash start hitting your accounts in January 2026. But here's where our railroad retirement formula kind of does its own thing. You don't just have Tier 1, you've got Tier 2, which acts a lot more like a traditional private pension. For 2026, the Tier 2 portion is getting a 0.9% increase. Wait, why the difference, right? Well, by law, the Tier 2 COLA is pegged at exactly 32.5% of the Consumer Price Index rise. So while Tier 1 gets the whole 2.8% pie, Tier 2 gets about a third of it. It is absolutely crucial to understand this split math so you know exactly how your total unique annuity is actually growing. Oh, and a quick reminder, vested dual benefit payments and supplemental annuities, those do not get these cost of living adjustments. All right, let's take those percentages and translate them into actual, real-world dollars so you can visualize the impact on your monthly budget. In January 2026, the average regular employee annuity is going up by $80 a month. That brings the new average total to $3,636. If we're talking about a combined annuity for an employee and a spouse, that average jumps by $112 a month, for a total of $5,249. And for aged widows or widowers who are eligible, you're looking at a $50 bump, bringing that up to $2,109 a month. Keep an eye out. You should be getting a letter from the RRB in late December breaking down your specific new rate.
Moving on to Section 2, payroll taxes for active workers. Let's look at the 2026 wage bases and rates.
So if you're still out there working on the railroad right now, these updated bases are what dictate your withholdings. The Tier I wage base just went up to $184,500, meaning you'll pay that 6.2% Tier 1 tax on every single dollar you earn up to that line. Cross $184,500 for the year and boom, that specific deduction drops off. For Tier 2, the wage base is capped at $137,100 at a 4.9% rate. Now, Medicare hospital insurance is a different beast. There's no wage limit there. You pay 1.45% on all earnings, plus an extra 0.9% if you're a high earner over certain thresholds. Look, seeing those deductions take a bite out of your hard-earned paycheck can definitely be frustrating. But I want to highlight a great perspective from financial advisor John McNamara. He makes the point that, especially with Tier 2, this isn't just money vanishing into a black hole, it's a pension contribution. Every dollar going in is building the foundation of your future Tier 2 benefits. It's literally a mandated investment in your own financial security that's going to come right back to you when you finally pull the pin and retire. Section 3, Medicare Part B updates. Let's talk 2026 premium costs. Now, we all love tracking our income, but planning for healthcare costs is just as huge. For 2026, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services set the standard monthly Part B premium at $202.90. That's an increase of $17.90 from 2025, which, is a jump of nearly 10%. The agency says this is due to historical trends in both healthcare pricing and utilization. But a quick caveat here. Some of you might end up paying less because of a hold harmless provision. That basically ensures your Part B premiums can't increase by more than the actual dollar amount of your Tier 1 COLA. But wait, not everyone just pays that standard premium. If you had higher earnings, you've got to watch out for the Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, or IRMAA. For 2026, if your modified adjusted gross income as an individual tops $109,000 or $218,000 for a married couple filing jointly, you're going to pay a higher Part B premium. We're talking anywhere from $284 to nearly $690 a month. And here's the real kicker you need to remember. Social Security determines this based on your tax returns from 2 years prior. So your 2026 IRMAA surcharges, they're based on whatever income you reported back on your 2024 tax return. Crazy, right?
All right, Section 4, Rules for Working Retirees. What are the 2026 earnings limits?
A lot of railroaders just can't sit still and end up working in retirement. But if you do, there are some pretty strict deduction rules depending on your age, and this brilliantly illustrates what I mean. If you are under your full retirement age for the whole calendar year of 2026, you can earn up to $24,480. Earn a penny over that, and you lose $1 in Tier 1 benefits for every $2 you earn above the limit. But in the actual year you reach full retirement age, things loosen up nicely. You can earn up to $65,160, and the penalty drops to losing just $1 for every $3 you earn over the limit. And once you hit the exact month of your full retirement age, those earnings limits vanish completely. Just keep in mind, these limits only apply to your Tier 1 benefits.
Finally, Section 5, Securing Your Service Records, How to Protect Your Benefits.
Listen, all this math doesn't mean a thing if your data is wrong in the system. To make sure everything is accurate, you've got to understand a key piece of RRB jargon, the current connection. This status is absolutely vital. You establish it by working for a railroad right up until the day you retire. The dangerous part is how easily you can break it. If you leave the railroad and take a regular, non-railroad job before your annuity actually begins, boom, you break your current connection. Why is that so devastating? Because maintaining that connection is a hard requirement for occupational disability annuities, supplemental annuities, and, most importantly, survivor benefits for your family. Once you lock it in at retirement, you never lose it, but you absolutely must protect it on your way out the door. To keep track of everything, the RRB issues a document every June, Form BA6, the Certificate of Service Months and Compensation. Think of this as your personal scorecard. It shows your current and cumulative record of railroad service, plus the pay that was subject to taxes. When June rolls around, please keep a close eye on your mailbox or your MyRRB online account for this exact form. It is literally your master key to verifying your reported earnings.
When you get that BA6, do not just toss it in a drawer or use it as a coffee coaster. Use it as a vital checklist. First off, verify your service months. Make sure you got credit for every single month you worked. Second, double-check your creditable compensation against your own records and pay stubs. And third, this is huge. If you spot an error or discrepancy, you have to report it to the RRB protest unit. You have a very strict 4-year window from the date the compensation was supposed to be reported to file a formal protest. Miss that deadline, the record pretty much becomes permanent and you could lose out on money you rightfully earned.
So, we've walked through the COA bumps, the new tax brackets, the Medicare hikes, the working limits, and the absolute must-do paperwork. The landscape of railroad retirement is always shifting, but with this blueprint, you're armed with the facts. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Are your 2026 retirement strategies really on track? Take these numbers, sit down with your financial plans, and make absolutely sure you are maximizing the benefits you spent your entire career building. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you on the next deep dive.